So we need to get sunlight in those terms. So we need to come out and fly kites and get the sunlight in our body, sun exposure. But this BMC, it is at the local ground level in all the villages. You should have one Ganesha at one city. Nothing is like यार medicine है ना, आप बीमार होते हो तो medicine आप, even people think that only Ayurveda is linked with biodiversity. No, even allopathic is linked with biodiversity.
Namaste ma'am, Dr. Shilpi ma'am, welcome. So today we have a session on culture and biodiversity. So Dr. Shilpi, you're here in Telangana last 15 years, almost taking charge of State Biodiversity Board. So how your journey has been, ma'am? What do you think you have been able to contribute to the biodiversity here in the region, and how would you see last 15 years?
We have like biodiversity is a new term. Actually, not new at present, but when I joined, it was a new term.
What would you say in Hindi, ma'am? What would you say?
हाँ, हिंदी में बायोडाइवर्सिटी को हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं? जीव वैविध्य, है ना? और तेलुगु में जीव वैविध्यम.
Almost same.
Yeah. So 15 years back, the situation was, it was a very not very new term for educationalists, for any research college.
Only environment was the only word.
Yeah. So environment and nature, wildlife, but biodiversity term, people were known about it. People used to study, learn about it, but it was not a very common term used by the stakeholders and all. So when this act came into picture, when this Biological Diversity 2002 Act came into
2002,
picture.
okay.
So when this Act came into picture, when it was enacted in 2002, recently it got amended in 2023.
Okay.
So this Act brought biodiversity a great emphasis. So people started talking about biodiversity. And then because of this Act, state biodiversity boards were formed.
Okay.
National Biodiversity Authority was formed. So the
federal structure came into picture.
Yeah, it is a three-tier system. At the national level in Chennai, there is a National Biodiversity Authority.
Okay.
At the state level, we have all the states, all the union territories and all the states of India has state biodiversity boards. So now we have all the states have a state biodiversity board, all the union territories have a state biodiversity councils, and then below that is the biodiversity management committees. So every village, every gram panchayat, every mandal, blocks, mandal, whatever we say in India, and then every Zilla Parishad district level, every municipality level, we are having biodiversity management committees.
Oh, that is also I am not familiar with.
Yeah, very few people are familiar about it.
Okay.
So that's the thing. And these committees are like 7 members. Should be there in the committee.
What would be the role, ma'am, of these committees?
This committee role is like to conserve the biodiversity, to protect, to make people's biodiversity register.
Any guidelines you give them?
Yeah. There is a full act book is there.
Yes.
And everything is there.
What is the importance,
Section 41
of that act? Like you said, since 2002.
Yeah.
How does it change the way people look at biodiversity?
Yes. So still people are not aware about this act. This act has 3 objectives. First is conservation, second is sustainable utilization, and the third one is SS benefit sharing.
What is it, ma'am?
SS benefit sharing.
Benefit sharing.
So yeah, I'll come to that. So it's like a cycle. The 3 objectives are like a cycle.
Okay.
So first is conservation. Conservation is like you all understand, to protect the environment, to protect the water bodies, to protect the nature, forest, agricultural things, whatever, seeds. So this is conservation. It's very easily understandable by anybody around us, students. They all talk about conservation, right? Then is sustainable utilization, which is very much linked to conservation. See, the other way of conservation is to sustainably utilize it. Supposing we talk about so many medicinal plants, right? We talk about ashwagandha, we talk about aloe vera. There are so many medicinal nowadays, especially after Corona and this COVID period. People people are more into Ayurveda and some these types of.
It's a direct link to biodiversity.
Yes. So people got more connected to nature after this COVID, and people started taking more of Ayurvedic medicines and all these things. So then, if you extract more everything from the nature, you don't leave anything in the nature to grow in future. that is sustainable utilization.
So basically the cycle has to continue.
Yeah, so you need to sustainably utilize it. Like in a very layman language, I can say you have to rationing it. Like you use in your home, like these many chocolates I have, so I have to eat only these many, and then we have to save for the future. The same way, everything in the environment has to be safeguarded by us for our children's in the future. So if you use any bioresource around you in a very unsustainable way, you extract it and you just use it, then that bioresource is lost. It is out of your control. Absolutely. Then you don't, it's endangered, you can't get them back, like red sander and all these things are getting endangered. So you need to have sustainable utilization of those bioresources. So that is directly linked to conservation. So this is all the sustainable utilization is also one of the way of conservation only. When you utilize something very sustainably, you automatically conserve it. So then the third objective is assess benefit sharing. That is like assess means utilizing something and sharing the benefit out of it. Okay. So supposing a company, you think of any X company, I should not take any name. So any company which is utilizing a bioresource, supposing you make neem gel, which you keep on your face, and
furniture, or for that matter.
No, yeah, furniture also, but you can like neem gel, you make aloe vera juice.
Yes.
Neem gel, all these things you make. So these things utilize the bioresource. For neem gel you need neem leaves. For aloe vera you need aloe vera leaves. So these things are bioresource. This is bioresource. Neem, aloe vera, this is bioresource. Okay. So when you utilize these bioresource and you get some profit out of it, you make a gel out of it, you make a juice out of it, or some medicine or some tablet, and then you get some profit selling in the market, then that profit has to be shared by the community from where this bioresources come. Okay. This is ABS, assess benefit sharing.
So the benefit, the shade with whom, ma'am? The benefit will be shared with whom?
That only. That's the community from where the bioresources come. Okay. For example,
the stakeholder basically.
Yeah, so I'll give you a very classical example here. In 2010, not in 10, in 2015 or something, 13, 14, there is a village called Amarchinta. In Atmakur, erstwhile Mehboob Nagar. Presently it is Nagar Karnool.
Yes.
So erstwhile Mehboob Nagar, there was a village, Amarchinta, from where some Japanese company came and took some neem leaves for neem gel or something. So then they gave ABS amount to the community, to the villagers from where they took the neem leaves. So that amount was used for biodiversity conservation. So it's a cycle. See, the third objective directly went for the conservation. That is the first objective. Conservation.
Got it. City and then sustaining it. And what would you like to tell the current generation about the importance of biodiversity? What exactly biodiversity has been defined in this act?
Yeah. So first, it is a game changer, like because of this act. See, previously we were not talking about traditional knowledge. We were not talking about biodiversity conservation. We were not having any written document about our bioresources in India. So we had this Philippines turmeric case and this Texamati, Basmati case. These many cases we got. Then only this act came into picture. So when this act was enacted, then this act talks about PBR, People's Biodiversity Register. So People's Biodiversity Register is people's means common people around us. Biodiversity, biodiversity is whatever you think, like nature, or we'll talk about it later. And then register means a copy or a book where you can register what biodiversity you have in your jurisdiction. This is about a PBR.
Basically about an identity, you can say.
It's like a Bible of that village. If you talk about a village, it's like a Bible
library
of that village.
Of thing,
yeah, everything will be given in that. What wildlife you have, what type of soil you have, what type of medicinal plants you have, what type of cattle you have, what type of insects you have, what types of flowering plants.
Where can we get this information? How
you need to we have to make a technical support group, and the people has to go around that village. It's not a one-day job. It takes around a year time, because every season has its own type of flowering season and growing. So what type of agricultural seeds you have in that village, these all patterns will be written in that register.
But if those were compiled, Who will be having those information?
The BMC. Okay. See, this 3-tier system, the most important is BMC. See, the first one is sitting in one city. The other one is another sitting in one city of the state. But this BMC, it is at the local ground level in all the villages. So these are the original custodians of this biodiversity, bioresource. So they have this information. Whenever a PBR is made, People's Biodiversity Register, this has to be given by the taken care by the BMC. They should take care of it. They have to be the sole responsible of it. And this, then they can see, supposing a case comes about, like Texamati or like turmeric case comes around, then this PBR will become a legal supportive document saying that this bioresource comes from this jurisdiction of this country.
That's how 2002 becomes very important.
Yeah, so this act became, this PBR term came.
Foundation.
Yeah. So there will be a written document always with every village person that this, today you may not understand. Like today, if you go to a sarpanch and say that this is a PBR and you need to understand the importance, they may not understand. But supposing there a case comes around, then this legal document, this PBR is a legal static document. So this legal document will be very important in that case. And secondly, for ABS also, we are thinking about the communities in the ABS term. You can think in the other ways also. Like a company wants to come in and fetch in some bioresource from your village, and they don't know that it is in your village or not. So from your PBR, they may understand that, okay, this is in your village or it is not there, or what type of variety is there, what type of species is there. And then it is the sole responsibility of the BMC that they want to share this bioresource with the company or they don't want to share. If they want to share, with what agreement, like how much share percentage they want from the profit and all. So this is the act.
And who are the BMCs? Like, who are the people who are like mainly in charge of this?
See, it's like from common people only. The chairperson is
constituted by.
The chairperson is sarpanch.
Local residents are constituted.
Yeah, local. So the chairperson is the sarpanch in the village case, and then the sarpanch and the gram panchayat can sit together and decide. Basically, it is like, as per the act, 2 women is compulsory, and 1 ST, 1 SC participation is compulsory, and then anybody who is interested in biodiversity, who is an environmentalist, who is having some like some agricultural thought of things. So who is interested voluntarily, who is active in these things, they can be a part of it.
And they will use local language, ma'am, to
definitely. These PBRs are made in local language.
Documentation is also.
Everything is in local language. Everything. Even our whatever we give them for awareness and all, everything is in local language. So in Telangana, it is in Telugu. In other states, it's in Hindi. In Punjab, it is in Punjabi. Like every state.
That's very significant, because if those people have to continue to conserve.
Yeah, anything which has to go to the ground level, it should be in the local level.
That is very good. Yeah. Because now you see more centralized documents, or whether it is in the state and central level, most of them are English.
Yeah.
Or otherwise in Hindi, national language.
No. Even our act is translated into Telugu, and we only Telangana has made an audio book of our act. So anybody who doesn't want to read the act or who is not able to read it, they can hear the act. Wow. They can understand it.
So the major portion of the topic, which is very interesting, like earlier 2002, you were saying there was no legal provision protection from the constitution, from the parliament. So earlier there were people who were protecting themselves. So traditionally it was coming the part of their culture. So the nature and or biodiversity is closely interrelated with culture. How their dynamics and how they have been successful to protect the biodiversity around them communities. What role it had?
See, previously people were protecting. Then only these traditions has come till now. Na? It was protected, but it was not having legal sanctity. But now it has a legal sanctity because of this act.
So, ma'am, can you go into the detail, like how the culture has played a significant role in conserving, preserving, and sustaining the biodiversity?
See, culture
if you can give examples of like Telangana, some.
Yeah. Culture is the most important perspective to conserve biodiversity, I may say. With my like personal experience, I feel common people, they protect, they conserve biodiversity. Many people conserve, but first of all, the thing is we need to understand what is biodiversity. When we talk about agriculture, we think about agriculture field, we think about wheat, paddy, vegetables,
Right,
fruits, horticulture. But when we talk about fisheries, we think about fishes or edible fishes, crabs, so many things. But when we talk about biodiversity, we think about forest. This is the basic problem, I should say, or the constraint which common understanding about biodiversity is forest, greenery, planting trees is biodiversity. So we need to understand this, that biodiversity is not only about forest or about conserving or planting trees. Biodiversity is something which is a holistic thing. Biodiversity is the habitat also where an animal live. Okay, forest is important, but forest is important for plants? No, it is also important for the wildlife. It is also important for the microorganisms which is there in the soil. So from biodiversity is from microorganisms say leke till you go to the highest elephant, the whole ecosystem, the water bodies, the soil, the river system, everything together is biodiversity.
Absolutely, ma'am. So in the entire ecosystem, so like human habitat, people were had played principal role though to protect, like bachane ke liye, to continue usko. So what was the understanding of the habitat people of that biodiversity, how close their interrelatedness was there, and how it became the part of that culture? Like if you talk about tribal communities, mostly in here we have that Medaram is a big festival happening, which so, and like that, if you give some examples, not necessarily
our tradition
forest.
is very much linked with biodiversity and nature. You talk about Ugadi, which is coming. You talk about Sankranti, which is coming. In Sankranti, when you think about Sankranti, Pongal, what do you think first?
So mostly food people think. So Sankranti means
and food, and I'll come to food also. And
Sankranti, we think of celebration like
flying kites, right? So anything you link with flying kites? Any scientific background with flying
so
kites?
We have insects.
No. So flying kites is like, see, we say ki Sankranti means flying kites. All over in India, if you go to Gujarat, if you go to Maharashtra, anywhere in India,
it's a common thing.
Sankranti is flying kites.
Yes.
So we think Pongal, Sankranti linked with kite festival, right? What scientific background it has is our ancestral tradition says that we need to fly kites on Sankranti. What time is Sankranti? Sankranti is winters. When sun is on 14th Jan, the sun will change its time like around, and it will become somewhat farther from there. It is very close in the winters. So we get sun rays. So we need to get sunlight in those terms. So we need to come out and fly kites and get the sunlight in our body, sun exposure. You link it with vitamin D or whatsoever you think, but we need to have sun exposure. So see, our ancestors were thinking in those ways. We need to bring our people, our children out for kite flying and get the sunlight, get the sun rays into our body, and we should get that exposure with the sun. So that is the linkage. See, that level of linkage our tradition, our ancestral have with all the festivals. They have linked it with tradition, with custom, with festivals. You talk about til. We eat til laddu. I don't know in Telangana, but outside we eat til laddu and all. Nubulu, yes, Nubulu laddus and all we eat, and in that jaggery. So jaggery is also hot. It's a winter's time. We need something hot to eat. So jaggery.
This also generates heat.
Nubulu is also, it generates heat to the body. So nubulu, jaggery, this is all heat generating type of things. So we eat those things. So they are linked with the tradition. So even if you don't want to eat nubulu laddu, til laddu, but because of Sankranti, you will that day at least you will eat. So you will give your body that type of input to your body. So this is all tradition.
In Marathi, they say like
gud khao, til gud khao, gud bolo.
Meetha bola.
Gud bola.
Gud bola.
Til gud khao or gud bola, something like that. Meetha bolo. So this is a tradition, but ultimately anywhere you go in India, this Sankranti festival is celebrated with other names
almost
also.
Pan-India.
Pan-India, other names also. Food, but food is same. Everywhere til is eaten. Everywhere kite is there. So these two have some scientific background, and I believe this is the scientific background. Then you go to Ugadi. Ugadi is something.
If I may interrupt, like the most interesting is that the Diwali, which is the most almost again celebrated pan India, most of them identify. So we lit diya also. This also in almost
insects are burned. That's the concept. Insects are burned, and
it's almost in the beginning of the winter. It is. So we lit diya.
Small insects are there, so they are burned.
Okay.
Then negativity goes. Diya is always about positivity. When light is burned, positivity comes into your home. That's the Amavasya Ratri. It's like a night which is full of darkness. So if you put diya lagate hain, so it gives light, it gives hope, and that's the thing.
So how, this connection is the biodiversity, ma'am? Like, of course, it is actually connecting us with the nature. But what is the larger picture of biodiversity in this? Like,
see, Diwali is a festival we celebrate because Ram has come back to Ayodhya, and Diwali is celebrated because it is a Lakshmi Puja, hai na? So I don't think so. It has much relevance to biodiversity, but any puja has biodiversity in it, because in Diwali also you need mango leaves to keep in your house, you need marigolds to keep in your house, you need fruits to bring for that puja. So you need biodiversity is there. If you don't get mango leaves, you will feel, "Arey yaar, what type of puja is there? Mango leaves are not there." So that connection is there.
Ma'am, so we see that this ecosystem is largely broken in the cities. We see that it's a totally different lifestyle.
I'll tell you one thing. In Pongal, Bhopal, there was a Ayyappa Swami temple. In Pongal day on 14th January, I don't know now, when I was very small, they used to burst crackers around 1 hour. And that used to be very beautiful, very nicely. They used to make, and very beautiful. All over people used to come every year to that place to see that. So that temple was famous for that only. Wow. At home, in my home. So do at home.
Then what is it like? Since you touched upon Ganpati, what are the importance of this Patri and Visarjan?
See, it is all medicinal value. If you go with each leaf, all the 21 leaves about Ganesh Puja, they all have medicinal values. So that is like giving importance. See, our ancestors were telling that these leaves are important. You need to keep it. You need to protect it for puja. See, हमारे ancestors ने, हमारे पूर्वजों ने हर चीज को पूजा से, रिलीजन से लिंक करके उसको इम्पोर्टेंट कर दिया. सी, आप कुछ भी भूल जाएं, आप टेम्पल में शूज पहन के नहीं जाएंगे.
हाँ, बिल्कुल,
है ना? क्यों? क्योंकि आपके माइंड में है टेम्पल में, मतलब पूजा मीन्स वर्शिप, religion is something which is very important here in our mind. So you will not forget it. So those 21 leaves तो आप बचा के रखेंगे ही कि हमें गणेश पूजा करनी है ना? तो वो बचेंगे, तो they are all medicinally important. आप बेल पत्री देख लो, आप तुलसी पत्ती देख लो, आप धूर्वा देख लो, this all is having extremely medicinally important.
तो ये कंजर्वेशन
है, ये एक तरीका है कंजर्वेशन का. आप बतकम्मा देख लो, उसमें जो फ्लावर्स हैं, तंगेडू और वो जो भी वाइल्ड, हमारा स्टेट फेस्टिवल है तेलंगाना का बतकम्मा. दे आर ऑल वाइल्ड फ्लावर्स, राइट, विच आर अवेलेबल इन दैट सीजन ऑफ रेन, आफ्टर रेन, October season, right? Because बतकम्मा comes after rainy season, monsoon season. So whatever flowers are which we need actually for बतकम्मा celebration is all monsoon का local flowers. Wild flowers. So if we need to take them and celebrate Batkama, that is the original soul of Batkama. Instead of using roses and marigolds, we need to go back to our tradition only and think. See, we have taken Batkama from them traditionally, but we forgot those 21, we forgot those flowers which were traditionally used in Batkama. We are using marigold, we are using roses also. That's marigold is important, correct, but instead of taking other flowers, we need to take those wild flowers which are authentically said to be used in Batkama. And that is having some scientific background also, because when we throw this into
that is also in the Visarjan water.
So we do Visarjan in water bodies. So that flowers have the capacity to clean the water. And the season when we celebrate Batkama is just after monsoon. So the water is scanty, it is dirty. So to clean that water, we need those flowers. So that is the concept behind
this Visarjan. Is it mainly any water body, or it should be rivers, or it was lakes? What was the thing?
No, you can do Visarjan anywhere.
Any water body.
Any water body. And you see, Batkama is a festival which is linked with earth, because you make a deity of mud, right? It is linked with water, it is linked with nature, and it is linked with human beings. So this is something which is so solely, like it is a binding, and we are proud that it is our state festival.
Yes, ma'am. It is widely celebrated.
Yeah, and it is so much linked with nature, water. Everything is
completely natural,
intact.
almost. At least this particular festival has no issues as of now. But ma'am, how, as you say, like every challenge, every society has always can figure it out and come out of the problem. So how biodiversity can be the rescue? Like all these days, we use culture to connect with the biodiversity, and we benefited out of that to stay well with the community and have the entire wellness. But now that the last 100 years, we see the urbanization, you can call modernization, people have disconnected, and the result is that now you hardly see any kind of a biodiversity, if you want to use that word, in the at least in the city setup. So people are facing all these kind of problems, like pollution, and like sometimes it is floods, sometimes it is no groundwater, sometimes it is excess rain or no rain, and then you see all kinds of health problems. So and then you see that out of that, then again you are facing health issues and psychological issues, and then physical health, medical problems. So in short, how we can bring back that ecosystem, at least in steps, in the because most of the population lives in cities.
See, we need to just look back to our parents, to our grandparents, what they were doing, how were they living. Now people are saying that if you go to a doctor, they say this is a lifestyle disease.
Lifestyle disease.
What is lifestyle disease? Previously our parents, our grandparents don't have lifestyle diseases. What are these lifestyle diseases? Means any disease which has occurred because of your changing of your lifestyle,
day-to-day behavior,
day-to-day lifestyle. You get up late, you sleep late, you eat late. Nowadays youngsters are eating at 11,
that's
at
because
1,
of the sleep
at 12.
or not eating on
they
time.
Don't have a good sleep cycle. They don't eat on time. Their dinner time is at night 12, 1. When our stomach has sleeping down, our insulin pancreas has sleeping to digest. Nobody is ready to digest your food. That time you give food to your stomach. So these all things are there. So slowly, see, anything doesn't happen in a day. Eventually, if you do regularly something, definitely it will show some impact to your body. So thus we should go back to our lifestyle things, like you need to have healthy food. Healthy food habits, like we have celebrated this millet year recently, International Millet Year. So millets are important. Why we celebrated millet year? Just to bring our view that, see, we all knew millets is important, right? All our parents, our grandparents has eaten millets, but we have forgotten. And as we have forgotten, our children will definitely forget it, because we forgot it means we will not cook it. We will not cook it. Once if we don't cook it, naturally our children will forget about millets.
Ma'am, you said also about lifestyle. So how we like this discontinued the millet patterns, and so
see, easy time, easiness, everything is so, like, why this packed food are so much? Because it is easy, na? Just bring it and eat it. That's the only thing, easiness. Anything, people don't want to spend more time in cooking, doing yoga, go for walking. They don't want to spend. They have n number of other activities in their life which is more important than their health when they are healthy.
Is there anything, ma'am, like you want to tell in Hindi, something which is the most important thing related to culture, at least day to day life, because we may not have time. हमको बाहर जाके कुछ नेचर के साथ स्पेंड करने का अगर टाइम नहीं भी है, तो अपने लाइफस्टाइल में डे टू डे में हम लोग कैसे बायोडाइवर्सिटी के पास में आ सकते हैं? जैसे
सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट तो मुझे क्या लगता है कि हमें हमारा खाना खुद ग्रो करना चाहिए। खाना ग्रो करने का मतलब ये नहीं है कि हमें गेहूं और चावल अपने घर में लगाना चाहिए। अब जो फ्लैट में रहता है वो कहेगा खाना मैं कहाँ से ग्रो करूंगा, तो गेहूं चावल लगाने की बात नहीं कर रही हूँ, पर हम छोटे सैक्स में, छोटे गमलों में ग्रीन वेजिटेबल्स लगा सकते हैं, चिली टमाटोज लगा सकते हैं, पालक धनिया लगा सकते हैं ना। बाहर से लेते हैं उसमें पेस्टिसाइड्स होता है या इंसेक्टिसाइड्स रहता है। हम घर में ग्रो करेंगे वो उतना प्योर और उतना हेल्दी होगा। तो हम छोटी छोटी चीजें करके उसके करीब आके अच्छा हेल्दी खा सकते हैं। प्लस हम हमारे बच्चों को ये बता सकते हैं कि ये चीज ऐसे ग्रो होती है ना। आप अभी रेगुलरली आप अभी जो हमारा चाइल्डहुड बच्चे हैं, छोटे बच्चे हैं, जो जनरेशन है, उस जनरेशन के बच्चों से पूछो कि गाजर कैसे लगती है या रेडिश कैसे लगती है, तो वो नहीं इमेजिन कर पाएगा कि गाजर या मूली जमीन के अंदर लगती
तो प्लेट में दिखेगा खाने
हाँ,
समय।
तो जमीन के अंदर लगती है, वो आप उसे कैसे बुक से नहीं पढ़ा सकते। तो जब आप अपने गमले में गाजर या मूली लगाओगे और वो देखेगा उसे निकलते हुए, या तो उसके माइंड में सेट हो जाएगा। ओके, तो एवरीथिंग नीड्स सम प्रैक्टिकल नॉलेज, और आपको फ्रेश मिलेगा, आपके बच्चों को फ्रेश भी मिलेगा। दूसरा क्या है कि हमारे घर में छोटी छोटी चीजें होती है, बहुत छोटी छोटी चीजें होती हैं जिनको हम चेंज करके बहुत बड़ा इम्पैक्ट कर सकते हैं अपने सिटी के लिए, अपने अपने पूरे सोसाइटी के लिए। जैसे हम मिल्क पैकेट्स लेते हैं, उस एक्टिविटी को चेंज कर सकते हैं, है ना। हम मार्केट में वेजिटेबल लेने जाते हैं या ग्रोसरी लेने जाते हैं, तो हम बैग्स लेके नहीं जाते हैं। वहां पे फिर वो पूछता है आप बैग लोगे, फिर 3 रुपीज का वो आपको एक बैग देता है ना। तो उससे बेटर है कि आप हमेशा अपनी गाड़ी में एक बैग रखो, है ना। और ये कुछ भी नया नहीं है। मैंने जब सोचा कि मेरे पापा कैसे लाते थे सब्जी, तो मुझे याद आया कि मेरे पापा के स्कूटर में हमेशा एक बैग रहता था, तो जहां भी सब्जी फल जो भी मिला उसमें ले लिया। उस जमाने में इतना प्लास्टिक नहीं होता था। तो क्यों नहीं होता था? क्योंकि लोगों को रेडी टू यूज, रेडी टू ईट, रेडी बहुत जल्दी वाला जो काम है ना, ये बंद करके हर चीज का एक सोल्यूशन निकाल के थोड़ा टाइम देके, क्योंकि दीज थिंग्स, देखिए आपका हेल्दी रहना भी जरूरी है, आपकी सोसाइटी का हेल्दी रहना भी जरूरी है, और आपके एनवायरमेंट का हेल्दी रहना भी जरूरी है ना। तो इन सब के लिए अगर एक एक आदमी भी छोटे छोटे एफर्ट्स भी करेगा ना, तो एवरीथिंग विल बी सॉर्टेड।
हम पहले अभी भी देखते हैं कि गांव में ज्यादातर जो किसान अभी जो वो खुद के अपने जो खेती करते हैं, वो ज्यादातर उसमें से खाते हैं। तो वो तो बाहर से कम लेते हैं, या फिर ज्यादा से ज्यादा वो अपने नेबरहुड से या आजू बाजू उनके गांव में से लेते हैं। तो इसका जो अभी आप बोल रहे हैं, जो बायोडाइवर्सिटी का, उसका क्या ज्यादा क्लोज कनेक्शन है? अभी ठीक है, आपने तो बताया कि अवेयरनेस है, थोड़ा कनेक्टिविटी बढ़ता है, तो वो बायोडाइवर्सिटी मतलब जो इकोसिस्टम की बात कर रहे हैं, तो उसका कौन सा आपका बोल रहे हैं कि उसमें जो सबसे ज्यादा महत्वपूर्ण जो पॉइंट है, जो हमारा को बोलते हैं कि नजदीकी जो है हमारा उनके साथ, वो हमारा एक काम आगे लेके जाना है। जैसे अगर फूड कंजम्पशन है, पानी पी रहे हैं, या फिर आजू बाजू का आपका सॉइल है, उसका जो इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है? जो डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड सेटअप है आपके नेबरिंग उनमें, उसका क्या इम्पोर्टेंस है
गांव में?
कहीं पे भी जहाँ पे भी आप अगर यहाँ पे है, तो यहाँ का जो वातावरण है उसमें आप बायोडाइवर्सिटी हमारा क्या रोल है? जो वातावरण है, सॉइल है, वाटर है, या फिर लेक है, या अब
बायोडाइवर्सिटी का तो बहुत महत्वपूर्ण रोल है ना।
बायोडाइवर्सिटी तो हर जगह है मैडम, लेकिन
चाहे वो अर्बन हो चाहे वो रूरल हो।
नेबरहुड में क्या रोल है उसमें?
नेबरहुड, अब वो डिपेंड करता है ना। अगर ये अर्बन है ना, इफ यू आर इन अ सिटी, इफ इट इज अर्बन बायोडाइवर्सिटी, दैट हैज अ डिफरेंट रोल, है ना। बट अगर आप रूरल की बात कर रहे हो, तो रूरल हैज एग्रीकल्चरल फील्ड देयर, है ना। तो अगर एग्रीकल्चरल फील्ड आजकल हम क्या कर रहे हैं, बेच के पूरा अर्बनाइज कर दे रहे हैं, तो इससे क्या प्रॉब्लम्स होंगी? एक तो हमारा लैंड सॉइल खत्म हो जाएगा पूरा, है ना। सॉइल खत्म होने का मतलब सिर्फ सॉइल नहीं होता है, सॉइल के साथ बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज होती है माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म, वो भी खत्म हो जाएगा,
फंगल भी रहता
है ना। अच्छा, माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म में सब आते हैं, फंगल, बैक्टीरियल, वायरस, सब आ जाता है। अच्छा, अभी माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म तो हमें पता ही नहीं है कितने हैं, है ना। जो चीज हमें डॉक्यूमेंटेड ही नहीं है कि कितना है, वो अगर लूज हो गया तो आप सोचो आपने क्या लूज कर दिया, एक ट्रेजर लूज कर दिया, है ना। तो एक तो वो चला जाता है। दूसरा, हमारी फील्ड कम हो जाती है। जब हमारी एग्रीकल्चरल फील्ड कम हो जाएगी, तो हमारा फूड, देखिए फूड कंजम्पशन तो बढ़ रहा है, पॉपुलेशन तो बढ़ रही है, और हमारी एग्रीकल्चरल फील्ड कम हो रही है, तो हमारा फूड सप्लाई कम हो जाएगा, तो हमें प्रोडक्शन कम हो जाएगा। तो ये सारी चीजें भी देखनी पड़ेगी। जो दूसरा आपने ये कहा कि विलेज के लोग जो अभी भी वहीं का लोकल खाते हैं, मैं जितने भी बीएमसीज में जाती हूँ, जहां पर भी, यहाँ पे जैसे आदिलाबाद जाती हूँ, इधर उधर, तो मैं देखती हूँ कि वो खुद ग्रो करते हैं। उनकी स्पेसिफिक कोई दाल है, चाहे वो तुअर दाल ही है, जो हम खाते हैं वो अलग है, उनकी अनपॉलिश्ड बहुत ट्रेडिशनल वेराइटी। जैसे हमने एक तुअर दाल को अभी उसको पीपीएफआरए में रजिस्टर भी कराया है, मच्छी कंदलू को, वो तुअर दाल है। अच्छा। लेकिन वो उनकी लोकल है, तो उसको मैंने और टेस्ट भी करवाया था, तो देखा उसमें प्रोटीन वैल्यू ज्यादा है, उसमें एंटीऑक्सीडेंट ज्यादा है, और उनके फादर अभी तक खा रहे हैं, 90 अबव है, कोई डिजीज नहीं है। तो देयर इज सम इम्पैक्ट, देयर इज सम रिलेशन, है ना। सो ये है।
अपने ट्रेडिशन में हमने ज्यादा घर का खाना एक बहुत अच्छा मार्केटिंग किया कि आप बोलते हैं कि घर का खाना, जब भी हम विदेश भी जाते हैं तो बोलते हैं मैं घर में माँ का खाना या घर का खाना, तो वो भी बहुत अच्छी तरह कल्चरली कनेक्ट हुआ, क्योंकि आपका जो घर का खाना मतलब आप उधर ही का बना हुआ खाना, जो आपका वेल कल्चर्ड एंड वेल अच्छे लाइफस्टाइल में बना हुआ और आपके लोकली ग्रो हुआ, अभी भी वो एस्पेक्ट है अभी भी कि लोग बोलते हैं भाई मैं खाना अच्छा खाना है तो मैं घर का खाना खाऊंगा, तो वो एक स्ट्रॉन्ग पॉइंट है कल्चरली जो समवेयर बायोडाइवर्सिटी से कनेक्टेड है। वैसे चीज अगर हम और ज्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग उसको करेंगे,
See, हमारा डे टू डे लाइफ, हमारा बर्थ से लेके हमारा डेथ तक बायोडाइवर्सिटी से कनेक्टेड है ना, यू कैन नॉट एस्केप फ्रॉम इट। जब हम पैदा होते हैं तो भी हमें झूला चाहिए होता है, झूलने के लिए तो वो लकड़ी है, लकड़ी कहाँ से आती है, पेड़ों से आती है। जब हम मरते हैं तो भी हमें लकड़ी चाहिए होती है ना जलाने के लिए, तो वो भी पेड़ों से आती है। तो बर्थ से लेके डेथ तक लकड़ी चाहिए, या लाइफ में जो भी कपड़े चाहिए,
लाइफ शॉपिंग मॉल में होता है
कपड़े चाहिए तो टेक्सटाइल तो कहाँ से आता है, कॉटन से आता है। तो एवरीथिंग इज लिंक्ड विद बायोडाइवर्सिटी। नथिंग इज लाइक यार मेडिसिन है ना, आप बीमार होते हो तो मेडिसिन, आप इवन पीपल थिंक दैट ओनली आयुर्वेदा इज लिंक्ड विद बायोडाइवर्सिटी, नो, इवन एलोपैथिक इज लिंक्ड विद बायोडाइवर्सिटी। सो दे एक्सट्रैक्ट दोस थिंग्स फ्रॉम दीस थिंग्स, बायोरिसोर्सेज ओनली।
इवन आप जो फार्मास्यूटिकल या कोई भी हो, एवरीथिंग तो आपको वैक्सीन्स हो, एवरीथिंग इज बेस्ड ऑन कल्चर ओनली।
इवन दैट इफ जस्ट गिविंग एन एग्जांपल कि वो जो होता है ना स्टिचेस लगाते हैं, जो सचेस होते हैं, वो जो सेल्फ डिसॉल्व्ड होते हैं, वो भी फिश के स्केल से बनते हैं। दैट इज आल्सो बायोडाइवर्सिटी। सो एवरीथिंग इज लिंक्ड विद बायोडाइवर्सिटी।